Ada and Emeka have been married for 5 years. 2 children. A house in Lekki. A perfect life. One morning, Ada wakes up to find a woman at her door. And the woman tells her that the man you married is not who you think he is. His real name isn't Emeka. He's not from Anambra. He's not even a Nigerian. Everything he told you is a lie. The woman leaves an envelope and walks away. Inside the envelope is evidence. Photos. Documents. Records. Ada has to find out, who did she really marry? What does he really want? And most importantly, is she safe? The Harmattan wind came early that year, carrying dust from the Sahara and turning Lagos skies the color of old paper. Ada stood by her bedroom window, watching the haze settle over the Lekki rooftops like a veil. The generator hummed in the compound below. Her phone screen showed 6:47 a.m. Emeka still slept behind her, his breathing steady and deep. She had been watching him sleep more often lately. Not from love, though love was still there, buried under 5 years of routines and half-answered questions. She watched because something had shifted. A word he'd said in his sleep 3 nights ago. A name she didn't recognize. When she'd asked him about it over breakfast, he'd laughed and said dreams were just dreams, then kissed her forehead and left for work. But Ada had learned to trust the small disturbances. The way he never video called his family in Anambra. The way he flinched when she suggested they visit his village for Christmas. The way his engineering degree certificate hung in their study, but she'd never seen him at a site, never met a colleague, never heard him take a work call that sounded real. The morning light grew stronger, turning the dust in the air to gold. Ada tied her head wrap and went downstairs to prepare breakfast. Their children were still sleeping. Kochi, 4 years old. Eneni, barely 2. The house was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of Lagos waking up beyond their gates. She was cracking eggs into a bowl when the knock came. Not the security guard's knock. Not the knock of the woman who sold vegetables. This knock was sharp, deliberate, and wrong for 7 in the morning. Ada wiped her hands and went to the door. Through the peephole, she saw a woman in a black kaftan, her hair pulled back severely, her face tired and determined. Ada didn't recognize her. "Who is it?" Ada called through the door. "My name is Zara," the woman said. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "I need to speak with you. About your husband." Ada opened the door but kept the security chain locked. "I don't know you." "No," Zara said. "But I know him. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this." She held up a brown envelope, thick with papers. "The man you married. His real name isn't Emeka Okafor. He's not from Anambra. He's not an engineer. He's not even Nigerian." The words hung in the air between them like smoke. Ada's hand tightened on the door frame. The sun was fully up now, harsh and white, making Zara's face look carved from stone. "Everything he told you is a lie," Zara continued, her voice softer now, almost apologetic. "Including that he loves you." Ada wanted to slam the door, wanted to scream, but something in Zara's eyes stopped her. Not cruelty, not triumph, just a deep, bone-tired sadness that Ada recognized from her own reflection some mornings. Zara slid the envelope through the gap in the door. "I wish I didn't have to do this, but you deserve to know. For your children's sake, if nothing else." Then she turned and walked away, her kaftan billowing in the dusty wind. Ada watched her disappear around the corner where the bougainvillea grew wild over Mrs. Chukwu's fence. She stood there holding the envelope, feeling its weight, hearing her heartbeat loud in her ears. Upstairs, Emeka was stirring. She heard the bathroom tap run, heard him humming, that same tune he always hummed, the one he said his mother taught him when he was small. Ada went to the kitchen and closed the door. Her hands shook as she opened the envelope. Inside were photographs, documents, printouts of news articles from other countries. The first photograph showed Emeka, but not Emeka. Younger, thinner, standing in front of a building with signs in a language Ada didn't recognize. Arabic, maybe, or Amharic. His arm was around a woman with long dark hair. They were both smiling. The second photograph showed a passport. The name read, Jonas Tesfaye, Ethiopian. The face was Emeka's face, but the eyes looked different. More afraid. There were bank statements in different names. Marriage certificates, 3 of them, different countries, different women. Police reports. Immigration documents with stamps Ada couldn't read. Her phone buzzed. A text from Emeka. Good morning, my love. Coming down now. Is breakfast ready? Ada's throat closed. She looked at the photographs spread across the kitchen counter like evidence at a crime scene. The white fluorescent light overhead made everything look clinical, unreal. She could hear his footsteps on the stairs. Could hear Kochi starting to cry in his room. She swept everything back into the envelope and shoved it into the space behind the microwave. Her hands were still shaking when Emeka walked into the kitchen, fresh from the shower, wearing the blue shirt she'd ironed for him yesterday. Ada? He touched her shoulder. Are you okay? You look pale. His hand was warm. His voice concerned. His eyes, those eyes she'd looked into 1,000 times, searched her face with what seemed like genuine worry. She wanted to ask, who are you? She wanted to scream, what have you done to me? But instead, she heard herself say she hadn't slept well. That she felt a headache coming. That he should eat quickly, traffic to the island would be bad. He kissed her forehead and sat down to breakfast. And Ada stood at the sink, washing the same plate over and over, watching him through the reflection in the window, wondering who the stranger at her table really was. The day moved like a dream that wouldn't end. Ada fed the children, bathed them, sang songs she didn't remember singing. Emeka left for work at 9, the same time he always left, the same goodbye kiss, the same promise to be home by 7. The moment his car disappeared through the gate, Ada retrieved the envelope. She spread everything across the dining table. In the daylight streaming through the windows, the evidence looked even more damning. She took photographs of everything with her phone, her hands steadier now, her mind beginning to work again. The passport showed stamps from 6 countries: Ethiopia, Sudan, Kenya, Ghana, Benin, Nigeria. The dates told a story of movement, of running, of someone erasing themselves and being reborn again and again. One news article made her stop breathing. It was from an Ethiopian newspaper, translated to English. The headline read, Family killed in Addis Ababa bombing, 1 son missing. There was a photograph. A house reduced to rubble. A street corner Ada didn't recognize. The article was 7 years old. It listed the dead, Desta Tesfaye, Marta Tesfaye, 2 daughters. The missing, Jonas Tesfaye, engineering student, 23 years old. Ada stared at the photograph of her husband as a young man. Before he became Emeka. Before he became Nigerian. Before he became hers. She called Chioma, her only real friend in Lagos, the one person she trusted with ugly truths. Chioma arrived within an hour, her lawyer instincts already firing. She sat across from Ada, her short natural hair catching the light, her red lipstick bright against her dark skin. She didn't say anything for a long time, just read through the documents with the focused intensity Ada had always admired. Finally, Chioma looked up. Her eyes were hard. Ada. This man could be dangerous. He's never hurt me, Ada said quietly. In 5 years. He's never even raised his voice. That doesn't mean anything. Chioma tapped the police report from Kenya. This says he was wanted for questioning in connection with a smuggling ring. This marriage certificate from Ghana. That woman filed a report saying he disappeared with her money. Maybe he had reasons. Reasons? Chioma's voice rose. Ada, you don't know this man. You don't know what he's capable of. You need to take the children and leave. Today. Now. But Ada couldn't move. She sat there in her dining room, in the house they'd built together, looking at the photographs on the walls. Their wedding day. Kochi's naming ceremony. Family portraits that now felt like elaborate forgeries. I need to understand, Ada whispered. I need to know why. Chioma reached across the table and took her hand. Some men are just predators, Ada. They see kind women and they take. That's all the why there is. But Ada shook her head. Because she remembered things. Small things. The way Emeka would wake up gasping some nights, his face wet with tears. The way he held their children with a desperation that seemed too raw to be fake. The way he sometimes stood at the window, staring out at nothing, his face carved with a grief so deep it made Ada's chest ache. Whatever else he was also broken. And Ada needed to know what broke him. After Chioma left, Ada went through everything again. This time, she was looking for patterns. Addresses. Phone numbers. Anything that might lead her to answers. She found Zara's number written on the back of one of the photographs. Her hand hovered over her phone for 10 minutes before she finally called. Zara answered on the second ring. "I was wondering when you'd call." They met at a cafe in Victoria Island, far enough from Lekki that Ada wouldn't run into anyone who knew her. The place was half empty, the afternoon crowd gone, only the hum of the air conditioner and the clink of coffee cups breaking the silence. Zara looked different in the daylight. Older. Her face was lined with exhaustion, but there was a strength in her eyes that reminded Ada of her own mother. "Who are you to him?" Ada asked. "I was married to him," Zara said. 7 years ago. In Accra. He called himself Kofi then. Said he was Ghanaian. Said he worked in import-export. She stirred her coffee slowly, watching the liquid swirl. "He was kind. Gentle. He made me laugh. And then one day, he was gone. Along with $40,000 from my business account." Ada felt something crack inside her chest. "Did you ever find out who he really was?" "It took me 3 years," Zara said. "But yes. His name is Jonas Tesfaye. He's Ethiopian. He was a student in Addis when his family was killed. Rebels bombed their neighborhood. He survived because he was at the library." The cafe's neon sign flickered outside the window, casting blue and pink light across their table. Ada could see Zara's reflection in the glass, overlapping with her own. "After the bombing, he ran," Zara continued. "He was only 23. Alone. He crossed into Sudan, then down through East Africa. He survived by becoming whoever he needed to be, taking whatever he needed to take." "But why me?" Ada's voice broke. "Why stay with me for 5 years? Why have children?" Zara's expression softened. "I asked myself the same thing. And then I realized, maybe he got tired of running. Maybe with you, he tried to be real. That doesn't excuse what he did." "No," Zara agreed. "It doesn't. But it explains it. Trauma makes people do terrible things. It makes them hide. It makes them lie so deeply they start to believe their own lies." Ada thought about Emeka's nightmares. The way he held their children. The way he sometimes looked at her with an intensity that felt like drowning. "Is he dangerous?" she asked. Zara was quiet for a long time. The cafe owner wiped down the counter, the sound of the cloth rhythmic and hypnotic. Outside, Lagos traffic crawled past, endless and indifferent. "I don't think so," Zara finally said. "I think he's just broken. But broken men can still hurt people. Not because they want to. Just because they don't know how to stop bleeding on everyone they touch." Ada came home to find Emeka on the floor of Kochi's room, building a tower out of blocks. Their son laughed each time it fell, and Emeka laughed too, that genuine, unguarded laugh that Ada had fallen in love with. He looked up when she entered. "There you are. Kochi and I are engineering a skyscraper. Structural integrity is questionable, but the vision is there." She watched him. Really watched him. The way his shoulders curved when he smiled. The gray starting to thread through his hair. The scar on his left hand that he said came from a childhood accident but had never explained further. "Emeka," she said, "we need to talk." Something in her voice made him go still. Kochi, sensing the change, abandoned the blocks and ran to find his sister. The room fell silent except for the sound of the ceiling fan turning overhead, casting moving shadows across the walls. "I know," he said quietly. Ada's heart stopped. "You know what? I know Zara came." He stood up slowly, his movements careful, like a man approaching a wounded animal. "I saw her on the security camera footage. I've been waiting all day for you to say something." "Then say it yourself," Ada said. Her voice was steady, strong. Tell me who you are. Tell me the truth. All of it." The confession came slowly, like blood from a deep wound. His name was Jonas. He was Ethiopian. His family had been killed when he was 23. He'd fled to Sudan, then Kenya, then Ghana, then Benin, then Nigeria. Along the way, he'd become different people. Stolen to survive. Lied to survive. Hurt people to survive. "But then I met you," he said. His voice was rough, broken. "And for the first time since the bombing, I wanted to stop running. I wanted to be real." "So you built our entire marriage on a lie," Ada said. "Yes." He didn't try to defend it. "I did." They stood in the dim light of their son's room, surrounded by toys and children's drawings, the evidence of the life they'd built on sand. "I should leave," Ada said. "Take the children and go." "Yes, Emeka," Jonas, whoever he was, said. "You should." But neither of them moved. Outside, the harmattan wind picked up, rattling the windows. The generator kicked on. Somewhere in the distance, a church choir practiced for Sunday service, their voices rising and falling like waves. "Do you love me?" Ada asked. "Or was that a lie too?" He looked at her then, really looked at her, and his eyes were wet. "I love you more than I've ever loved anything in this world. That's the only true thing I have." Ada closed her eyes. She thought about the woman she'd been 5 years ago, lonely and idealistic, working at a bank and dreaming of a family. She thought about the man who'd walked into that bank one Wednesday afternoon, charming and gentle, making her laugh for the first time in months. She thought about the life they'd built, the lies woven into its foundation, the truth buried underneath. "I can't promise I'll stay," she finally said. "I can't promise I can forgive this. I know. But I can't promise I'll leave either." She opened her eyes and looked at him. "Because those children in the other room are real. This house is real. And whatever we were, whatever we are, some part of it was real too." He nodded, not speaking, tears running down his face. "So here's what's going to happen," Ada said, her voice steady. "You're going to tell me everything. Every name. Every place. Every truth you've ever hidden. And then I'm going to decide who we are now. Not who you were. Not who I thought you were. Who we actually are." The night deepened around them. The children slept in their rooms, innocent and unaware. The city hummed beyond their walls. And in that small room filled with toys and shadows, two people who barely knew each other began the long, painful work of becoming real. 3 months later, Ada stood in the same spot by the bedroom window, watching the harmattan haze settle over Lekki. But everything was different now. Jonas, she'd started calling him that, needing the truth between them, was at a lawyer's office, beginning the process of legalizing his status in Nigeria. It would take years. It would cost everything they had. But it was real work, honest work, the kind that built foundations instead of burying secrets. They'd told the children a simplified version. That daddy had a different name when he was young. That he came from a faraway place. That sometimes people had to start over to survive. Kochi had asked if they could visit Ethiopia someday. See where daddy came from. Meet his family's graves. The question had made Jonas weep. But he'd said yes. Someday. Ada didn't know if their marriage would survive this. Some days, she looked at him and saw a stranger. Other days, she saw the man she'd fallen in love with. Most days, she saw both, and had to choose which one to believe in. Chioma thought she was crazy for staying. Zara had called once, asking if Ada was safe, if she needed help leaving. But Ada had learned something in those 3 terrible months, that love built on lies could still grow into something true. That broken people could choose to stop breaking others. That survival sometimes meant staying and fighting instead of running. The sun rose higher, burning through the dust. Jonas came to stand beside her at the window. He didn't touch her. He'd learned to ask first now, to respect the space her trust needed to rebuild. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for giving me a chance to become someone real." Ada didn't answer. She just watched the city wake up, full of strangers and secrets, lies and truths tangled together like the roots of ancient trees. And she thought, we are all married to strangers in the end. The question is whether we choose to know them. Behind them, Kochi called for breakfast. Nene started to cry. The generator hummed. Life continued, messy and complicated and real. And Ada turned away from the window, toward the sound of her children's voices, toward the difficult work of building something true from the ruins of beautiful lies.